Welcome back to next part of PHP. We will discuss using classes and objects. As usual, I'll start this at the end. I'll start with the metaphor, vehicle factory metaphor for classes and objects. So imagine classes as a blueprint for making a car, and an object is the actual car that is created. So it could be the object could be truck, it could be a car, it could be tricycle, it could be motorcycle, etc. So that's how we should think about this. First is writing class. So we start with the PHP again, and then this is the comment, the blueprint class car, public string int, and then we use this public function to allow this blueprint to be used by an object or to be instantiated by an object. So this car class defines the structure of a car but doesn't create one yet. It has properties, brand, model, year, like the blueprint defining how house should be built. So it's like a blueprint on how to create a house, but it could be a blue. I mean, for this metaphor, it is a blueprint for creating a car. It has a method, print details that describe the car. So here, print details is its method. Creating objects. So for creating objects here, we will create an object based on this blueprint. So we will create a car based on this. So based on this blueprint, the car must has brand, model, and year. And then here, we instantiate a car1, name car1 object, and then we equate it to new car, which is here. That we extend or we create, we didn't extend, we create an object based on that class. And then we access its properties since it's public, car1. So notice how we access properties. We use an arrow, a right arrow, and then we equate it with a quotation and then the description of the value of the property. And then we use the print details method of that class. And then this is its output. This car is a 2020 Toyota Corolla. Then car 2, Honda Civic 2000. This car is a Honda Civic 2022. Here, we create objects car 1, car 2 based on the car blueprint. Each object has a unique values per brand. The print details method is used. Using abstraction, why? To enforce a common structure for all cars. Just like the truck, cars, tricycle, motorcycle has its basic structure, right? It must have an engine. It must be released at a certain date, could be 2022. It must have a certain brand, etc., etc. So that's the abstract class. So it's a kind of class that is not instantiated directly. So to instantiate this, you need its child class or its subclass. Why? To enforce a common structure for all cards. So just like a factory that has a structure for a basic parts of a car, uh, an abstraction is for that purpose as well. What? The vehicle class is abstract, meaning you can create an object from it directly. So you cannot create new, so just like this, new car, you cannot create that directly because this class is not an abstract class. This is a normal class. That's why you're able to use this new car. But in this abstract class, you cannot actually use that. What? The vehicle class is abstract, meaning you can create object in it. So Here is an example of abstract class. So protected means it can still be accessed just like a public, um, but you need some certain commands to do that. So I'll show you the details for that, but those are the rules for PHP. And then here's a constructor to set values. So constructor is used to set values. So it's different from properties because this brand model here is the property. Here is the constructor. Constructor used to set values to the property. So that's its difference. Abstract method must be implemented in child class. So here, implementing inheritance. So here, um, we use this abstract public class. Now, if you want to instantiate it like this, it must be abstracted or implemented from its child class. So here, abstract public function. This method as well, uh, the same with object, must be implemented or the properties must be implemented in its child class. So basically, these properties, your model brand, and then this function or method must be implemented. I'll show you an example for that later. Implementing inheritance, a car extend the vehicle. So another topic is inheritance. So how do we actually use this class? Because remember, class is just to instantiate or to a blueprint for the actual car. So how would you actually use this blueprint? So this blueprint can be used using inheritance. Why? A car inherits from vehicle, so all car must follow vehicle structure. So here, a car, uh, a car object inherits from the vehicle because, like what I've said earlier, a vehicle has the fixed properties that is inherited by all kinds of vehicle, whether it's motorcycle, truck, etc. Here is the example, concrete class extending the abstract class. Class car extends vehicle. So the way we inherit or the way we use this is we use the extend keyword. Class and then the name of the object, extend the name of the class. Method, implementation, public function, print details. So here, we use the public function of print details. This car is this year, this brand, this model. So notice this, guys. This start with this year, this brand, and this model. But um, let's see. It should output this. This car is a 22 Honda Civic. So there, this year, this brand, this model. Now, let's say we put this year to this. But let's see. Yeah. So if we do that, then the first output here is the brand, obviously. But that's not the right format. But it's important to know that so that you can assemble the grammar of the output properly. Creating objects and testing visibility. We use new car to create objects from the class. So we use new car to instantiate an actual car from that blueprint. Encapsulation, the properties brand model here are protected, meaning they can only be accessed inside the class or subclass. So like what I've said, the protected are still accessible, but it can only be accessed using this child class. So since it's actually a child class, it can access this. But if it's not a child class, it won't be able to access these properties of the vehicle. So since car inherit is type of a vehicle, it will inherit the it will inherit its properties because it's actually a vehicle. So that's one way to think about it. Encapsulation, the properties brand model year are protected, namely inside the cluster. The constructor automatically sets values when creating a car object. So the constructor, just like the first one that used to set value to the properties, automatically set value. So here's an example for creating an object. Let's say we create that class. So here's how we create an object for that. Car 1, new car, Toyota Corolla 2020. Because this is the parameters that is asked by the car object. So we can create multiple car object here. As you can see, we create a car 1. Since this car 1 is implemented the parent class, which is the vehicle. So vehicle, so we create a car, an actual car, but that's not the end. Like imagine we have a blueprint for all vehicles, but we have a blueprint for cars as well. So you can think of this object as this car object as a blueprint for yet creating another car because like for example you have Honda Civic 2022 Honda Civic. Those type or those cars could mean different to different people. Like it could have different um like people could use the I think the best metaphor is that a car object is for a car. Okay, so for that car, you can create a Toyota 2022, right? Or you can create a Honda 2020. So those are cars. It's different from truck. So here we create a car one. So new car Toyota Corolla 2020, car one print details, output these cars of Toyota 2020. So this notice how we print the output, we use the print details, and notice how we create the object. The other side, car one called new car, and then we input the parameters. So the parameters is actually the value of the properties of that object, which in this case Toyota 2020 Toyota Corolla and here 2022 Honda Civic. Now on our last part, extending with class constants and polymorphism. Now, why do we need to extend it with class constants? Because like cars, trucks, um, van, those has a constant value of wheels. So it has four wheels. So you can automate that by using constants. What will define a constant wheels inside the vehicle class? Metaphor, think of OOP in the PHP like a vehicle factory. Abstraction, the abstract class vehicle is like the master blueprint for all vehicles. You cannot build a car or truck directly from it, but it defines the rules every vehicle must follow. So here's an example code. Here's the abstract class protected, and then class constant. We defined it using public const wheels equal to 4. And then constructor to set values. This constructor is again, we use that to set values for properties, and then this abstract public function print details. Concrete class extending vehicle. Here, a concrete class that we use to inherit that vehicle properties, implementing the abstract method. Here, this card is here, self wheel. So notice how we access the constant. We use the self and then double colon and then the name of the constants. Another class extending vehicle. So we can create another class that extend the vehicle. Class name is truck. It extends this vehicle. Private. So for truck, it adds another property which is capacity. which it's set to private, meaning the truck can only access this property. Additional property for truck constructor includes truck-specific property. Public function underscore so here's a constructor used to set value of the truck. So for the parent, we use double colon underscore construct brand model here to access these properties. And then we add, notice how we add the capacity, this, and then right arrow capacity equal to the capacity, which was parameterized using integer in this constructor. So different implementation of print details per truck. Now we create a function for this class. We use this year, this brand, this model with a capacity. Now the output of that is this truck is a 2023 Ford F-150 with a capacity of 5 tons. This car is a 2020 Toyota Corolla with 4 wheels. So that's it, guys. So I think we're going back to the metaphor, and I would provide an exercise for you guys. Try to implement this first on your own for to see how it actually works on PHP without me solving the or showing you how it works first, because so it builds your problem solving skills. It increases it by one, I would say, or depending on how fast you do it, it could increase more. So I would suggest you doing that. But in the next videos, we will show how you can actually implement PHP in the browser. So again, we discussed class, which is the increased complexity of the previous topics we discussed, which is operators, functions. Class is more advanced way of using functions. It accommodates all the it could accommodate all the concepts such as the functions. So we can use class as a reusable functions, just like what we did with the method in each class. So again, a recap: method is actually um, uh, an object with a function with with a function properties. So yeah, it's almost the same with JavaScript. That's why it's object-oriented programming as well. So here we demonstrate polymorphism. Another thing is that we about a bonus is that we will discuss why um, we will use the polymorphism. Different types of vehicles may have different ways of displaying details. Uh, we'll introduce a new truck class that extends the vehicle but has different implementation of print details. So polymorphism just means that you're able to use these classes and objects with a different implementation based on your situation. So in this case, truck, it has capacity. Therefore, we add the property capacity. So it's polymorph because it's allow allows you to use it on your specific cases. So just it's like a metaphor for in the previous video about object-oriented programming, where the creation of object in OOP is efficient. So instead of making the building inefficiently, you did it efficiently by making use of blueprints such as this class and then existing properties and values to then create those buildings, those houses, instead of building it from scratch. So that's polymorphism. Again, guys, thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Peace.